Today I fucked up by cooking naked. It's not what you think, no bits were physically harmed in the making of this. Today I fucked up, only emotionally scarred. My son was born right around the kickoff of the pandemic last year. Since no family could come visit, we did a lot of video calls. One day I was in the kitchen cooking breakfast al natural because I hate clothes. My wife was in the living room with the baby who was around 3 or 4 months old. They were on a group video chat with my wife's mother and 2 of her sisters, with the camera obviously facing away from the kitchen. Several minutes into the conversation I overhear my wife say, "Oh, you want to play with the phone?" Followed quickly by "Oh no, oh no, oh no," and some uproarious laughter coming from the phone's speakers. That little shit had reached out to grab the phone and somehow hit the flip camera button, putting more of me on display than my in-laws ever needed to see. I hadn't pieced together what had happened, so I didn't cover up or anything, and it took a good couple of seconds for my wife to get the camera to flip back, so everyone got a decent show. They still tease me about it, doing things like answering video calls with their eyes shut and asking, "Is everyone decent?" And I open my eyes. Too long didn't read, my son showed my in-laws my whiner on FaceTime. Bonus: today I fucked up. One of the sisters from the call has access to our son's baby cam via an app because she watches him for us every now and then. It sends notifications when there is movement at the crib. I forget this frequently and go in there to rock him when he wakes up in the night, naked, because I sleep naked. This is kind of a always assume the gun is loaded type situation. If there is a lens pointed at you, assume it could go live. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I always sleep naked and don't normally go right to throwing on clothes if I choose to at all. And I also had a little one that was born mid-pandemic. And I also had a similar instance. Except mine wasn't a video call, we send tons of pictures of the little ones to family. My fiancée loves to send them to her grandparents all the time. She is the first grandkid of many that had a kid of her own, so we like to send them tons. He's usually pretty good about making sure any bits are cropped out, as we both aren't fans of clothes and she also breastfeeds. Well, not this time. I was in our kitchen right outside our bedroom, and she was playing with the kiddo on our bed as we all had just woken up. Takes pictures of all the smiles and whatnot. No big deal. Until I get a message that she fucked up. She sends me a picture, the picture she apparently had sent to her grandmother, who then we're sure sent the picture around to others in the family. When you looked close enough into the one corner, there I am standing naked as the day I was born. She tried to crop it and resend it. By then it was too late. I get him so sorry about 101 times. Thankfully it wasn't any front bits, but I'm sure at this point about half of her grandma's family has now officially seen my ass, so it could have been worse. But what can you do? At least, as her grandma said days afterwards when we spoke to them on the phone, she worked in the medical field and has seen plenty of her fair share of other people's asses. I cook naked too, but I started wearing an apron after an incident with oil splatters while cooking frozen fish. Yes, I'm an idiot. Now I look like one of those girls in hentai that wear nothing but aprons while cooking. Somewhat related, our parking garage has a wall that's open and facing apartments. One day my wife pulled into a parking space and was on the phone. After some time she wondered why a guy in the apartment across from her was vigorously sautéing in the kitchen. Then she realized the dude was wanking it in his kitchen with an open window. Sautéing has had a new meaning our house since then. Why? He was making a roux, of course. White, thick, and requires constant beating. Dad's making sausage for breakfast. Today I fucked up by eating shrimp with my boyfriend and his family skeptical. Okay, so, this actually happened 2 days ago, but I'm still cringing about it. I recently started dating this guy and 2 days ago he asked if I wanted to go to a fancy restaurant with him and his family. I, of course, said yes because hey, he's my boyfriend and I wanted to meet some of his family. So the day arrives and everything starts out normal. I meet his relatives, then we head to the restaurant. We sit down and my boyfriend orders lobster and I order stuffed shrimp. Keep in mind, I don't eat a lot of seafood and have only just recently started eating shrimp. Honestly, shrimp is amazing. I love it. Our food arrives and we all start digging in. I grabbed my first shrimp and devoured it without any issue. I grab a second piece and ate it. As I was chewing, I turned to see my boyfriend looking at me weird. Quickly turned to his relatives who are giving me similar looks. And this is conversation that transpired. Me to my BF, what is it? BF staring at me in awe, did you just eat the shrimp with the tail on? Me, yeah why? BF, you can't do that. Me confused, wait what? BF, you/numbskull56 no. That's harmful. BF's brother, yeah bud, you can't do that. It's not good for your stomach. Me internally realizing I messed up, oh bleep. BF, you're supposed to take the tail off first. Skeptical. So then his aunt, who was seated next time, hands me her napkin and is like, please spit it out. I do, and she then says, BF's name, show him how to take the shell off. My boyfriend does as she instructs and comments, I never thought I had to teach someone how to eat shrimp. So yeah, that rest of the dinner I just didn't make eye contact with any of his relatives. Oh, and not to mention, literally after he showed me how to take the shrimp tail off, I tried to do the same and I ended up dropping my meal skeptical. Now I'm here typing this out and trying to decide if I'll ever eat shrimp again. Frown. Too long didn't read. I ate shrimp, learned that you can't eat the tail, and that his family probably thinks I'm a weirdo. Facepalms. As many others have said, it's perfectly fine to eat the tail, up to you. This reminds me of a dinner with my GF at the time and her parents. It was a fancy seafood place and we all got whole lobsters. None of them had ever eaten a whole lobster before, whereas I had grown up eating them all the time on holidays, Maine/New Englander. So the lobsters arrive at our table and look delicious, served with a little cup of butter and lobster cracker utensils. They're looking at their meals like, how are we supposed to eat this? So I offered to show them. I grabbed my lobster with both hands, twisted a claw off the body, cracked the claw's exoskeleton open, pulled out the meat and dunked it in the butter and down the hatch. They stared at me wide-eyed like I was some kind of savage. Didn't last long though, and by the end of the meal we were all savages. Smile. Actually, your BF and his family are wrong. You can eat the shell tail of shrimp. There shouldn't be any harmful effect if you chew it to break it down, but there's not much benefit either, as the shell is made of chitin and is mostly indigestible since our bodies lack the enzymes to break it down. Shrimp tails are edible. It is primarily personal choice to eat them or not. Larger shrimp tails can be difficult to eat though. LOL, you can eat the shrimp tail, along with its dirty intestines. It won't kill you. Fried shrimp, till. Turns out deveining is done for protecting against bad flavor and not, as my mother assured me, because it will give me sea plague. Kind of like coring strawberries. A few years ago my So's family had tamales. I'd never had tamales before then, so I tried eating them like they were burritos, husk and all. They thought it was hilarious, but they weren't condescending dicks about it. Today I fucked up by automatically replying nice after hearing 69. So, as many people during quarantine, I started getting more immersed into meme culture, which includes the infamous funny/nice number 69. Now onto the story. Tonight my parents had friends come over, including someone my age, and we all ended up playing cards together while chatting about life. Then the adults moved to more political topics, specifically a terrorist movement from decades ago. When one of the friends asked my dad approximately how many were victims to all that, he replied 69K. At that moment my mind decided not to think and I unconsciously blurted nice in front of everyone. So as everyone except for my friend were not as meme involved, they were obviously taken aback by my comment, looking at me as some sort psycho who thinks people's lives are no big deal. After a few long seconds of silence, I decided to go to the kitchen to bring more snacks and pretend nothing happened at all. Too long didn't read. I said nice after my dad said the death toll of an event was around 69K. All his old friends looked at me as if I was psycho. Edit, as many have been asking, it wasn't a single event. There was this terrorist group called Sendero Luminoso. They were active for a few years, killing many. I decided to check the actual death toll and it's documented to be around 19K. Wish my dad had known his facts better to avoid my dumbass comment, but it's great to know there weren't as many victims as I was first led to believe. Edit 2, u/royal egg found the right info. My dad was actually right. The real data. Everybody laughs when they hear 69. Ah ha 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 ha, nobody knows why. Homer Simpson. Well, they didn't know why, that's for sure. During the 80s I just got home from high school and was laying on my bed. Just outside my door was the phone, and Mum was chatting to my cousin who was going through marriage problems lasting years. Mum would talk for hours about any random stuff she heard just to try to keep her mind off things. My mother is really innocent, but she's heard this joke from someone and decided to tell it. What's the definition of trust? Two cannibals having a 69. I'd heard it hundreds of times and was over it, but hearing it from Mum. Oh, teenage me is rolling on my bed, laughing my head off, and then I hear her say, "No, I don't get it either, but me, does." I'll ask him. No, I wasn't touching that with a 10-foot pole. I once kissed my fiancée and told her, deadpan and all, she tasted just like mother. Ah, good times when people are still innocent and unaware of your rotten humor. Lol, sometimes you just need to learn to keep it in her head. That's what she said. I was on holiday and the bar we were at was playing bingo. Number 69 came out and he said 69, dinner for two, yum yum. Safe to say I always use this phrase now. Sorry, I was just looking at my cards. What were we talking about? That would have been a nice escape, but as I said, my brain wasn't thinking.